Hi everyone, Celt News here. Two things here that are fairly important, I think. One is that the Daily Mail are saying that Prince Charles may use legacy from King George VI to fund Harry and Meghan. This is concerning a lot of people because this is his grandparents' legacy and it is not a good idea. The Daily Mail goes on to say Prince Charles to continue to pay millions to them while they set up in Canada. So he has his money from the Duchy of Cornwall, which is supposed to be 100 million. The whole duchy is 1.2 billion. It goes on to say about Meghan and Harry's billion-dollar brand. I've said before, I don't think their brand will work. I don't think that they will be allowed to use Sussex Royal. And I'm thinking even the use of Sussex is not going to happen eventually. So this says, this article, that Prince Charles may turn to his multi-million-pound inheritances from King George VI and Queen Mother to bankroll Harry and Meghan's Canadian adventure. This sounds like a couple of teenagers having a gap year and being financed by good old dad. Anyway, it goes on. But experts in royal finances fear taxpayers could still end up picking up the bill. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex are worth up to 34 million between them, but have to pay back the 2.4 million of public funds spent refurbishing Frogmore Cottage. That still leaves them a lot of money. That still leaves them over 30 million. And it goes on, they're expected to buy or rent a gated mansion in Canada. Charles has historically paid his son around 2.3 million a year from his 1.2 billion Duchy of Cornwall estate. And it goes on to say that he's now going to tap into his own wealth and share investments to fund the Sussexes for at least the next year. Critics fear the money will come indirectly from the public purse because most of Charles's wealth comes from the duchy, because he was taken to the cleaners during his divorce from Harry's mother Diana, Princess of Wales. Why doesn't he just cut them off? Why do the British taxpayers have to pay? So this is news to me, and probably to many people, that Charles, it says here, Charles is understood to have inherited millions from his grandfather, King George VI, who died in 1952, and from the Queen Mother, who died in 2002. I knew he had some money from the Queen Mother, but I didn't know that he'd inherited millions from his grandfather. It goes on to say that in this article that he is the tightest of the royals. So this seems as if the British taxpayer are going to be paying. It sounds as if he's being quite devious here. It says he'll support them, Harry and Meghan, through the Duchy of Cornwall. Then what he will do, based on previous experience, is claim that as a legitimate expense, and he will use that to reduce his tax liability, and therefore the public purse will continue to support Harry indirectly. I think most of us understand that Prince Harry, as he is still a prince, needs protection, and I think most people wouldn't have a problem with that, but this is just taking it too far. Goes on to talk about the concern over making sure that the taxpayers' money is used effectively. And it says, in order to provide protection to people who are offering a service to the British public. Well, they're no longer offering a service to the British public. So that doesn't make sense. Again, it goes on, the experts have claimed that US TV networks could be willing to pay the couple 38 million book deals, 20 million, this is in pounds, for US TV interviews, and £470,000 based on the amounts secured by the Obamas since they left the White House. I really can't see this. They won't be able to use the name Sussex Royal. And then it goes on to say that the Royal Sussex brand is worth 700 million. Di Davis, who led the Metropolitan Police's Royal Protection Unit, said, ultimately, I think the British public will still be paying for it, and that by moving abroad they are making it harder to set up adequate protection. Well, with that, and now the news that they are, or Meghan is, going to be suing the Canadian press, I mean, they haven't, Harry's barely landed out there, and it's all drama again, suing paparazzi. It's absolutely unbelievable. The other article, which was interesting and I think important, is this one is in the Times, and it's the Queen's AIDE warns Harry and Meghan against Sussex Royal title. There are some comments on the Daily Mail comment section, and one here is a really good comment. Permitting Sussex Royal to continue isn't only unsatisfactory, but it's downright offensive. Their year of scheming behind closed doors produced an entire enterprise of Sussex Royal ventures, such as trademarks, websites and business plans. Kensington Palace officials were not informed and weren't involved in any of the organisation or implementation. It seems a former associate of Meghan's was hired to perform the duties. Some people would say that level of deceit could only mean that they were creating a shadow monarchy. At the very least, they are rogue members of the royal family and determined to operate separately from the rest of Kensington Palace and without consent or coordination with other households. It's for all these reasons, and there's more I haven't listed, that the Sussex titles should be revoked completely. I actually agree with that, and I think many would. But as I said in my previous video, I think perhaps Her Majesty is allowing them their titles, Duke and Duchess of Sussex, and they're not allowed to use their HRA for anything public. So they can't use that. So they can use the Sussex titles, but they still have to be careful how they use Sussex Royal within their merchandising. So maybe this is the test. Maybe the Queen knows that it's not going to happen, that it's impossible for them to do this properly, so that then they will take that away completely rather than taking away the whole lot at one go. That's what it seems like to me. The Times article, where the Queen's AIDE warns Harry and Meghan against the Sussex Royal title. This advisor to the Queen has said that they should not be allowed to use the name Sussex Royal after stepping down from official duties. Thomas Woodcock, Garter King of Arms, made his comment as Prince Harry was pictured this morning getting off a plane in Vancouver, having reached a deal with the Queen over his future status and carried out one of his last official engagements. Harry has been told that he may no longer use the title His Royal Highness, but there is uncertainty about whether the couple will be able to continue calling themselves royal in their social media and charitable activities. There has been another newspaper article which is not relevant to this, even though I think they are trying to make it relevant, and that is Princess Anne's son, Peter Phillips, advertising milk for a Chinese company. It's a totally different thing because he doesn't have a title. He's not really doing anything detrimental as yet. The Telegraph says Peter Phillips, the Queen's grandson, uses royal connection in milk advert in China. The advertisement emerged days after the Duke and Duchess of Sussex were instructed not to use their HRH titles for commercial gain following their decision to step back as senior royals. Peter Phillips is, in this advert, identified as a British royal family member on the advertisements for Jersey Fresh milk in Shanghai. In the advert, he goes on to say about how great this milk is, how he was brought up on it and all that. But he was never an HRH, and he is advertising something that is, I suppose, connected to his childhood and Jersey milk being under the crown, I guess. So it's a little different, but I'm pretty sure that if the Queen wanted to and thought she should, she would stop this and nip it in the bud. But I think that these other members of the royal family have more respect, and I don't see that this is a problem. They have respect for the monarchy and for the Queen, and I don't see this being a problem. I don't even know why it was brought up, but maybe it's a certain group of people bringing it up to try and compare. And just one more thing before I finish this video, but people on Instagram are saying that they are finding that they are following Sussex Royal when they haven't even followed them. I don't use Instagram, so I don't know how it works, but interesting. If you have Instagram, go and check. Just make sure that you're not actually following them when you have no intention of following them. This seems to be a way that they're getting their numbers up, which is absolutely bizarre. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.